I'm going to speak with you a little bit about building scientists for tomorrow and using STEM as a platform to do that. I feel that that's an important conversation because we all want to live more secure lives, we want to live more complete lives, and to do that, we need to connect our technology platforms with our students and give them the power to leverage robotics, genomics, machine learning, AI, and different technologies that are there that need to be harnessed so we can solve some very simple problems such as food scarcity, water scarcity, bad air, pollution, chronic diseases, lifestyle diseases, because without solving these issues, we really cannot live complete lives. And the world we are leaving our generations to follow is not the world we inherited. So solving those problems is critical, and 3M's vision and our purpose for being as a company is to achieve that outcome. And the key lever for us is the generations that follow, and being able to empower them with science, because once we do that, they can achieve the outcomes that we desire. So the way we approach it is no different than the way we approached the growth of 3M and the evolution of 3M over the last 100 years. So the philosophy was very, very simple. It was coined follow the smokestacks, where we felt that our purpose as a company and the way we wanted to bring solutions to our customers really had to begin with making a field trip every day to the communities of businesses and people that we wanted to connect with, observe the problems they had, bring those insights back into our organization, and build products for tomorrow. It's a process that we have followed in a very disciplined way for 100 years, and it's helped us build the company we have. Last year, we filed 100,000th patent as an organization and crossed 30 billion in sales. So it's a business model that has worked really well for us. So the future we want to create comes from those insights. And the business model that 3M follows uses those guiding principles. So firstly, the insights need to come from the marketplace. They have to come from the global environment in which we serve our communities of customers and consumers. We have to combine that with a culture of collaboration within our organization globally, as well as our customers and the communities, and couple them with our technology platforms. We as an organization think that the combination of those three is what enables us to deliver the solutions in the marketplace. So let me touch on that. So you probably have a film in your pocket or in front of you on the desk. So I'm just going to refer to this as I explain the science behind 3M and why we're so excited about STEM. So if you think about 46 technology platforms, it's composed of 4 different elements. Technologies that are in the material science, so the materials that this film is made of, the processing capability that converts that film to an actual outcome, the capabilities to convert that then into a form factor like this physical structure in your hand, and an application in the marketplace. So I'm going to give you one quick illustration of what that actually means. So you're probably familiar with smartphones, and you probably all have smartphones, LED TVs. You probably have cars that have daylight running lights. These are all technologies invented by 3M. So if you go back to the 60s and think about the overhead projector, which we invented, that gave us the permission and the insights and the capabilities and processes to make this film today. This film today is in over 1 billion devices. It allows the light in your phone to magnify and amplify itself and makes that bright light with ultra low power. Now, it can be used in many different ways, but I'm just speaking about one narrow application called film, which is highlighted there. But that technology platform enables science to be unleashed in numerous markets. So I'm not going to bore you with our commercial side of the company, because that will take too much time. But I wanted to share 2 stories with you, and I feel the best way of sharing it is actually through a couple of videos. And these are some of the astonishing outcomes we can get with that investment in science. So I'm going to play the first video, and then I'll just give you some quick points about it.
Everyone in the developed world appreciates the fact that at nighttime they can flip a switch. Could you imagine living every day in 12 hours of darkness? There are currently 1.3 billion people that live without access to electricity, and another 2 billion people whose electricity is very sporadic and not dependable.
Light, just intuitively, is an important part of what we take for granted here in the United States or elsewhere in the developed world. Light leads to other things: education, ability to read books. All these things come from light.
Our goal at New Vision Renewable Energy is to re-energize communities. Primarily, we're using energy as a tool for access. It's also a way to empower people.
New Vision contacted us about our solar mirror film at that time, and said they had an application for lighting for underserved areas. It's 94.5% solar winded reflectivity. It means it's very shiny, in other words.
I finally got a hold of Dan Chin, and I said, have you ever thought about how your shiny paper can help the poorest people in the world?
With a back reflective film, you have the ability to expand or multiply the brightness of those lamps.
The 3M mirrored paper adds value to the LED light strip, and most people, when they see our 3-strip lights, say, wow, that's bright, and indeed it is.
3M makes it easy for us as business people to do the right thing.
When you're in a hut and people turn on lights for the first time, and you realize that they've now have a new opportunity, hopeful comes to mind.
Wow, that's good. Good girl.
Thank you. A lot of points. I'll just touch on them very quickly because very thoughtful 1-minute video. First to the kerosene lamp. Eliminating that lamp, which is the source of light in over 600 million homes, helps improve health because that is just bad way of lighting an environment. So eliminating that is one benefit, but you probably noticed a few other things. You noticed a bunch of kids in school. And one of the problems in Africa is that kids don't go to school because their parents find more productive use of the kids' time than sending them to school. So in that classroom, in that school they went to, there's actually a solar roof. And that solar roof is like a grid, mini grid. And each kid brings a battery pack that we supply to them to the school, and they check it into the solar grid. At the end of the day, they take that battery back home, and they plug it into their light. So now the kids have an incentive to go to school because their parents are happy that they went to school and they became energy producers. The second thing you probably noticed is these kids are very smart. Many of them become solar entrepreneurs. So they take that panel and that battery pack, and they actually sell people cell phone charging, which is a big problem in Africa because to go to a town to get your phone charged every 3 days takes you a day of time. So you start creating microcredit, you start creating a way forward for education, and you also eliminate bad air, bad contaminants at home. A lot of different outcomes from a very simple science, which is this film. But for science to really win, it comes to capturing the hearts and minds of people. If our families and our children are not inspired by science because we didn't touch their hearts, they are not going to be inspired to act. So I want to show you one more video, which is a completely unexpected outcome from the same technology, which I think hopefully will capture your hearts and minds as well.
Soy Alexis Ibarra, reportero del periódico chileno El Mercurio y escribo sobre tecnología. Pero esta vez yo iba a ser parte de la historia. 33 mineros quedaron atrapados a media milla bajo tierra. Pasaron 17 días antes de que supieran que los estábamos buscando. De un momento para otro ya no estaban desconectados del mundo exterior.
We wanted to save power. We wanted to reduce electricity consumption. We never thought of the fact that this could be something that Chilean miners could use to make connection to the outside world. What we did in 3M is look at all of 3M's solutions in optics, materials, and electronics to produce a very, very small and bright projector.
Recuerdo haber escrito de un proyector 3M tan pequeño que cabe en tu bolsillo. 3M donó 2. Eran tan pequeños que cabían en el agujero de la mina. Antes de poder salvar sus vidas, necesitábamos salvar su espíritu. Pudimos enviarles video.
In order to improve the efficiency of this projector, make a brighter, higher resolution screen, we had to develop a new type of film. This is a reflective polarizer, which is the world's most efficient reflective film. We can reduce the amount of power required by the projector so we can produce a brighter image with a smaller battery.
El proyector les llevó videos de sus familias e instrucciones de seguridad y salud. y un partido, Chile versus Ucrania. Y a pesar de que Chile perdió, los mineros se sintieron conectados con la realidad. Ayer fue un buen día.
When we heard the story, we were very excited because we want to have a product that can be used by anyone, anywhere. And this is certainly a great example of that. No one person could make this projector. It requires a lot of different people all focusing on making their part as good as it possibly can be. One of the things I've often found with innovation is there's a surprise. And we oftentimes look for these surprises. What are the things that are really new? I don't believe anything is impossible.
Como te decía, la creatividad humana no tiene límite.
Greg Odenkirk is an incredible scientist at 3M. Over $1 billion of revenue earned with his patents. But that project and that outcome gives us purpose. It's a fantastic way to represent science. Now, Jackie, if I'm not mistaken, this is Kua John. And he's a middle school student at Farnsborough Aerospace Middle School in St. Paul. This student has access to our scientific community, someone like Greg Odenkirk, who's his mentor, who helps him experiment with science and find ways to bring science into the forefront of what he's working on and building. This is what we're trying to do with STEM, is to give hands-on opportunities to kids to experience science for the first time with the mentorship and the support that they need to remain engaged in the process. The approach we take is very systematic. We want to address STEM early on. So in the K-12 curriculum, you'll see projects like FIRST, which is focused on robotics. You'll see math counts. These are very fundamental science skills in STEM that we want to impart in school, middle school in particular. We then transfer that to higher education. So we work with a number of universities to help them advance curriculum that keeps their graduate students interested in graduate science degrees. We have a significant deficit of that in the US. We need to address that, and we are addressing that. But also importantly, we want to make it accessible for teachers and professionals to be partners with 3M, to take the technology that we have and the know-how that we have and build curriculums with it. This three-step process helps us achieve the outcomes we're looking for, which is to make a step change in the application of science in the US and worldwide. So some of the things I wanted to share with you is the Visiting Wizards program. This is Nancy. She has great pride in going into schools and making science fun for young kids. She does fun experiments with them, gives them hands-on experience. We put everything on YouTube now, so millions of kids around the world can try these experiments with our kits. And the Visiting Wizards program has gone national. Our STEP program is where we bring in, for the past 40 years, we've been bringing in kids into our labs, giving them projects in our labs and helping them invent stuff with us, discover stuff with us. In fact, one of the students is a divisional scientist at 3M. And then our mentorship program, where we send our teams out into high schools and help mentor kids, help them understand career achievement, help them understand how to make a career in math or science or anything that they feel that they want to make a contribution to the advancement of science. We help with those programs as well. So the outcomes that we're looking for is to give access first and foremost. So for 44 years, we participate in the first day of St. Paul's School, where we hand out 18,000 bags of supply to kids on their first day of school. We then work with them to give them access to the Science Museum. We give them access to the zoo. We go with them. We have over 1,000 volunteers at 3M go on these trips and help them experience science hands-on, whatever field of science that makes sense to them. We also give them access to our best scientific knowledge in terms of programs that we do with young scientists in the US. So these outcomes are interested to measure progress. So if you look at graduation levels, we're seeing significant improvements in schools where we've intervened, and we provide support to provide them STEM access. We're seeing much higher graduation rates than we had in schools that don't have that program in place. So our vision is that through your participation, through your support, through your engagement in this process, we can overcome the resistance in STEM and science and actually make it fun and engaging for kids of all ages to to participate, remain engaged, and become advocates for science. Because by doing that together, we can improve lives. Thank you very much.